They've been rehearsing, not out loud, in the private theater of their own mind, in the spaces between their regular thoughts. In the last few minutes before sleep, when the mind loosens its grip on performance and what's actually true becomes impossible to ignore. They've been turning the words over, testing them, feeling the weight of each one, putting them in a different order and then back again. Imagining the sound of your name in the same sentence as everything they've been holding back. And the rehearsal is almost over. Because what I'm reading right now, what is absolutely saturating your energetic field with a kind of specific, directed urgency, is someone who has reached the end of their own silence, who has kept this in long enough that the keeping has become its own kind of pain, who is moving not casually, not eventually, but with genuine intention toward the moment when they finally say it to you out loud. Before I tell you what they'll say, and I'll walk through every layer of it, I want to describe what their energy actually feels like right now, because understanding them is part of understanding why this moment matters as much as it does. There's a particular kind of restlessness around them. Not anxious exactly, it's more focused than anxiety, more directional, like a compass needle that's found north and is now simply vibrating with the effort of holding still. They know what they want to say. That part is settled. What's moving, what's creating this hum of contained energy is the question of how and when and whether the moment will cooperate. Underneath that restlessness, though, go deeper, beneath the surface agitation, and there's something else entirely, something so quiet and so certain that it's almost startling in contrast. They are sure about you. Not the performative certainty that people display to convince themselves, the bone deep, inconvenient, won't go away no matter how long I wait kind of sure. The kind that has survived their own doubts, survived the time that has passed, survived every rational argument they've constructed for why they should probably just let this go. They couldn't let it go. They tried. There's something I want to acknowledge about the time that has passed between you two, because I feel it in this reading like a third presence in the room. Time, a stretch of it that maybe felt like distance or silence or uncertainty, a period where the communication was sparse or surface level or simply not what it once was, where something that had been warm went quiet, and you may have spent some of that quiet time wondering if you'd imagined the warmth in the first place. You didn't imagine it. The quiet wasn't indifference. It was the sound of someone fighting with themselves. Someone trying to do the sensible thing, the contained thing, the thing that didn't require them to be vulnerable in a way that terrified them. They went quiet not because you stopped mattering. You went quiet because you mattered too much for anything casual to feel honest. Let that reframe sit with you for a moment. The silence was not an absence of feeling. It was feeling so large it couldn't find its ordinary shape. Now, the words, I want to walk through this carefully, not as a script they'll deliver verbatim, because real moments are never that clean, but as the emotional truth that is going to come through in whatever words they find. The essence of what they need to say, the things that have been pressing against the inside of their silence, demanding to be released. The first thing they'll say is your name. And I know that sounds simple, but the way they say it, the specific quality of it, the weight they'll put into those syllables will tell you everything before the rest of the words arrive. Your name in their mouth in this moment will sound like the beginning of a confession rather than the beginning of a conversation. There will be a pause after it, a breath, the kind that people take when they are about to step off a ledge they've been standing on for a very long time. Notice that pause. That pause is the most honest thing they'll offer you. Then they'll say something that begins with, "Times I have to tell you something," or a version of that. The exact phrasing might shift. It might be, "Times there's something I need to say," times, or "Times I've been wanting to say this," times, or simply, "Times I need you to hear this," times. But the construction will be the same. An announcement before the announcement, a signal that what follows isn't small talk, that they are deliberately, consciously stepping out of the comfortable mutual performance of everything being fine and into the exposed space where the real thing lives. That signal is for you. They're giving you a moment to receive it, to orient yourself, to understand that what's coming requires the full version of your attention and not the abbreviated version you give to ordinary conversation. Be present for it. Whatever you're doing when this begins, put it down. Look at them if you can. This deserves your full face. What comes next is the part that has lived inside them the longest, the part they've held back through every interaction you've had where it wanted to surface, the part that sat in their chest during every ordinary exchange and made everything feel slightly insufficient, slightly dishonest, because the real thing was right there and they kept choosing the safer version instead. They're going to tell you they think about you, not as a throwaway, not as flattery engineered for a specific effect. They'll say it with an emphasis that makes clear the thinking hasn't been occasional or incidental. They think about you with a frequency and a depth that has surprised even them, that has made them question things, that has interrupted other parts of their life in ways they didn't entirely choose. You've been in their head in that particular way, the way that isn't obsession but is more than just fondness. The way that means a person is not quite all the way present in their own life because part of their awareness is perpetually attuned to someone else, to you, to what you might be doing, feeling, thinking, to whether you're okay, to what it would mean to actually say the thing they've been circling for so long. Does it feel like I'm describing something you've quietly suspected? I want to hear in the comments what this is bringing up for you, because I think more Virgos in this community are carrying this particular kind of wondering than anyone has said out loud. After that, and the energy here shifts slightly, becomes more vulnerable, less composed, they're going to say something about time, about how long this has been true for them, about the fact that what they're feeling isn't new, isn't recent, didn't begin last week when conditions felt favorable. They've been holding this for a while, and the duration of it, the fact that it didn't fade with time the way they perhaps hoped or expected it to, is part of why they're finally saying it. Because they've waited for it to go away, and it hasn't, and at some point, continued silence becomes its own dishonesty. They'll tell you in some form that they can't keep not saying it. That sentence, "times I can't keep not saying it," times, or whatever near cousin of it actually emerges in the moment, is the one that will go through you like electricity. Because it acknowledges the accumulation, the keeping, the decision to withhold that they've been making repeatedly and are now unmaking once and for all in front of you. That takes courage, enormous courage, actually. And then, and this is the part that will land the hardest, that will require you to simply breathe through rather than immediately respond to, they're going to tell you what they want. not what they think is realistic, not what they're willing to settle for, what they actually want, the full, uncurated, slightly frightening version of it. They want you in their life in a way that has a name, in a way that isn't ambient or undefined or carefully maintained at a comfortable ambiguity. They want to stop performing casualness about something that has never been casual for them. They want the thing to be real, acknowledged, given a shape that both of you can see and agree is there. This might express itself in a direct times I want to be with you. It might arrive wrapped in the context of what's been missing or what they've realized or what they imagine, but the center of it is that clear and that brave. They want to be with you, and they are finally saying it. I need to prepare you for something because knowing this in advance might be the thing that allows you to stay present rather than retreating into processing in the moment. When this happens, your first instinct is going to be to manage it. That's the Virgo response to emotional overwhelm that arrives unexpectedly, immediate, competent management. You'll feel the enormity of the moment, and your nervous system will reach for its most practiced tool, analysis, structure. The measured, careful response that keeps you from fully landing in something before you've assessed it from every angle. Resist that, just for this once, because this person will be watching your face while they say these things. And what they need to see, what will give them the confirmation that the risk was worth it, isn't a composed, well considered response. It's you, the real time, unedited feeling version of you, the version that shows on your face before your mind has a chance to curate it. Let your face tell the truth. Let them see what this actually does to you. That unguarded moment, your real reaction, felt in real time, will be worth more to them than any perfectly constructed sentence you could offer. It is the thing they've been hoping for. It is the whole point of saying the terrifying true thing out loud. Give them that. Give yourself that. There's something specific I keep noticing about the quality of connection between you two, something that sits beneath all the content of this reading, beneath the words and the timing and the specific emotional beats. And I want to name it plainly because I think you need to hear it. You make sense together. Not in the way that sounds like a consolation, the way people say it about arrangements of convenience, in the deep structural sense. The way two things make sense together when they're both expressions of the same underlying logic, when being near each other creates coherence rather than friction. When a conversation with them leaves you feeling more like yourself rather than less. When their presence in a room makes the room feel different in a way you notice before you can explain. You've felt that. I know you have. And so have they, multiplied by however long they've been keeping this. That sensation of fundamental sense of two people who fit in a way that isn't manufactured has been the thing that made silence increasingly impossible. You can rationalize your way out of attraction. You cannot rationalize your way out of the feeling that someone makes the world make more sense. They couldn't. They stopped trying. What happens after they say it? The energy around the aftermath is warm, lighter than before. There's a quality of mutual exhale, both of you, landing in a reality that's been hovering just above the surface of your interactions for longer than comfortable, like a room that's been slightly too warm, finally getting fresh air. The relief is collective, even if your response is uncertain, even if you need time, even if the conversation that follows is complicated, the relief of honesty is immediate and shared. Something between you that was held in suspension arrives on solid ground. And from that ground, however the specific shape of things unfolds, something real can be built, not the theoretical version of connection that exists in the liminal space of almost the actual version, the one that has edges and weight and occupies real space in both of your actual lives. That is what's coming. A real thing. Finally, genuinely, unmistakably real. Virgo, I want to say something directly to you now, stepping slightly outside the reading to just be honest. You deserve to be someone's deliberate choice, not their convenient option, not the person they circle back to when other things didn't work out, not the one they keep in a particular compartment labeled time someday, maybe, when I'm less afraid. They're deliberate, clear eyed, I've thought about this and I'm sure choice. And that is exactly what this confession is, a choice made after time and doubt and the extended discomfort of keeping something true locked away. A choice that arrives already tested because, unlike new feelings that haven't been through anything yet, what this person is bringing you has survived their own skepticism. It has survived their attempts to rationalize it away. It has survived distance and silence and time. What survives all of that is not infatuation. It's the real thing wearing its most honest face. There's a very specific image I want to leave you with because it arrived at the end of this reading and feels important. A letter that's been written and rewritten, pages of drafts, each closer to the truth than the last. And finally, the version that says exactly what was meant in the simplest, most unadorned language possible. No flourishes, no strategic phrasing, just the true thing, written down, ready to be given. They've reached the final draft. And you, Virgo, with your extraordinary ability to read between the lines, to sense the weight behind words, to understand what's being communicated at the level beneath the literal you, are going to receive this with every part of you. Not just your intellect, not just your careful, discerning mind, your whole self, the part that hopes and the part that hesitates and the part that has been quietly, faithfully holding space for something exactly this real. That part of you is about to be met. Let them talk. Let the words come, however imperfectly, in whatever order they find. Resist the urge to help them, to finish their sentences, to make it easier for them by managing the moment. Let them do this. Let them give you the full, slightly terrifying, completely genuine gift of their honesty. And then, in the quiet after, tell them the truth back. What is sitting in your chest right now after this reading? Whatever came up, a feeling, a face, a realization you weren't expecting, I'd love to meet it in the comments. This community holds more than it knows.